So, Joyce Meyer, some of you may have read her book, but it's called The Battlefield of the Mind. Some of you may get assigned it for some of your monthly reading. But in her book, she says you win or lose the battle in your mind. So whether you win or you lose is going to be determined by here. And your life is always moving in the direction of your strongest thought. So you're always heading towards your strongest thought. So whatever your strongest thought is, your life is, you know, like it or not, your life is moving towards that direction. And that's a sobering reality, but it's real. And so that means that your thinking shapes your living. And so what's happening in your mind right now is planting seeds for who you'll be one day. Paul, whenever he said take, the thoughts captive, he didn't say take some of them captive. What did he say? Take every thought captive, meaning every single one of them. And to me, that tells me that we've got a lot of crazy thoughts. If he's like, you know what, you need to take every single one of them captive. Not just a few of them that are bad. He's saying every single one of them. And so it's your command center. Your brain is your command center. If you've ever studied in it or looked at it, from a biological perspective or point of view, your brain is the control center. Because it governs your heartbeat. It governs your breathing, your emotions, your reactions to things. This is your control center. Everything operates off of your mind, off of your brain. And so when you think about that biologically, what about spiritually? Spiritually, it's your battleground. So biologically, it's your control center. Spiritually, it's your battleground. 2 Corinthians 10 says, though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. So, though you're living and breathing and walking in a flesh body, your war is not in a flesh body. It's not in your flesh. The war we fight is not feelings or fists, right? It's thoughts. It's thoughts. And so Satan doesn't need your body to sin as long as he can get your mind to agree. That's all it takes. He's after your mind because your mind controls everything else. He just needs agreement up here. And a lot of times, ladies, it's agreeing with that lie, I'm not good enough. And so when you talk about agreement, can I get 4 of you to stand up real quick and come to me? I am your brain. That's who I am in this scenario. Each one of these ladies are thoughts. All right, so you're just going to kind of get a single file. It's fine. All right, you're going to come up to me one at a time. Here's a thought. Come on. I agree with you. Here's another thought. I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you. So when a thought comes, you can shake on it mentally. So if you're like, I'm no good, you can say, that is true. You're shaking hands, you're agreeing. That's all, thank y'all. That's all the enemy needs. So you getting thoughts all day, every day. Are you shaking on it? Are you shaking hands? Are you agreeing with those thoughts coming? Do you say, yes, I am not good enough? And, no, I'll never amount to anything. And yes, I am ugly. And yes, I am no good. And what are you agreeing with? And it's happening up here. The war, the battle going on between your ears, if we were to peek in, it would be livid, ferocious. Like right now we look fine, we look calm. But if we were to step in to look at this battleground, what would it look like? And so Satan, again, he doesn't need in that moment, he doesn't need my body to go do a sin. He just needs me to shake on it because he knows that's the control center. I don't have to go walk her to sin. All I got to do is get up here every day. That's all it takes. She'll follow because guess where you go? You head in the direction of your strongest thought. Remember that. Remember that. And so Joyce Meyer also wrote, the devil will give you wrong thoughts, but you don't have to accept them. So same scenario. Here's the devil sending me these thoughts. I'm the brain. So y'all can, somebody stand up. Perfect. This is a wrong thought. I've learned in this class. It's coming towards me. It's coming towards me. It's got its hand out even. It wants to shake on it. I'm like, wait a minute. No, thank you. So you just turn around and go back. All right? So what I did was I took that captive. I said, nope, you're not coming in. You need to go back where you came from. I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you. So it's just a visual for you, I think. And Watchman Nee said, the mind is the battle where Satan wages war. If he controls your thoughts, he can control your life. If he can control your thoughts, he can control your whole life. One thought can steal your destiny. Think about that for a minute. One thought. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. So, what your mind repeats, your heart will believe. And so I have a thought replacement drill sheet. And I want to just go ahead and hand that out to you before we go forward, because I want you to be able to utilize this. Miss Mia shares how she has something similar to this. But this is going to give you more of a breakdown of what it looks like. And just keep this. I want you to have it and use it. So the reason I'm handing this out to you right now is because of this quote I just read you. What the mind repeats, the heart believes. What this thought replacement drill is going to have you do, you are going to repeat the opposite of a thought to yourself until you believe it. I'm no good, and that thought comes, you say the opposite. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. You repeat that mentally until you've effectively renewed your mind. And so Philippians 2:5 says, let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. Y'all remember that? It's a good one, isn't it? So wait, how could we possibly have the same mind as Jesus, as Christ? Colossians 3:2 says, set your affection, your mind, on things above, not things on the earth. And so this means that we get to choose what we think about. You can actually set your mind like a thermostat. Scripture says set your mind. What are you setting it on? What temperature is it on? And so the mind that's not renewed will always conform. Remember the scripture? Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So a mind that's not renewed will always conform. Do not conform to the past. If your mind's not being renewed, your default is conforming. Just conforming to whatever's around you. So, how do you set your mind? Well, you don't wait for feelings to just show up. You choose ahead of time where your thoughts are going to dwell. You don't just wait for it and be like, oh, yeah, it's time to fight. It's here. The battle's on. No, you go ahead of it. Any smart warrior has a game plan. They go ahead. They say, this is where the landmine is. This is where the danger is. Not, well, let me just wait till I see somebody and then I'm going to fight them. No, that's not how it goes. You have to think ahead of time. You choose, no, I know this is coming. I'm dwelling on this. I know I'm going to be facing a lot of hardships coming up, and I'm intentionally setting my mind like a thermostat. I will not doubt the process. When you come in this program, number one, you should be like, oh, I know me, I know how I am, and I'm not going to go there mentally. I'm not going to run. I'm doing this. Leaving is not an option. You set your mind. Set your mind ahead of time. And so, renewing your mind is not a one-time event. It is a lifelong process. You don't shampoo your hair one time and say, oh, it's clean for life. Do you? It's a constant renewal. Your mind needs washing daily. Daily washing it. And so, the next thing I want to talk about is your mind versus your heart. Your mind versus your heart. Because your heart and your mind are linked. Philippians 4:7 says, the peace of God will guard your heart and mind. It's Philippians 4:7. The peace of God will guard your heart and your mind. So, what we meditate on eventually settles in our hearts. And whatever fills the heart fills the mouth. It's all connected, and I'm going to explain. We're going to show you how it's all connected. Matthew 12:34 says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So now we have our mind, our heart, and our mouth, and they're all linked together. It's dangerous to ignore your thoughts, ladies. Just ignoring them. And I think a lot of times that's what we do. We just ignore it. Rather just pretend like it didn't happen. And Proverbs 23:7 says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So here again we have the mind, the heart, and the mouth all connecting. Is everybody good with that? Romans 8:6 says to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Talked about it yesterday. But one thing we didn't elaborate on is to be carnally what? Minded. To be spiritually what? Minded. So if we could take this class and say, well, what if it's fleshly minded? Carnal. That's what that is. Spirit minded. What is it governed by? To be carnally minded is death? Wow. Meaning you're heading in the direction of your strongest thought. Meaning you're heading towards death when you're carnally minded. That's the destination. So spiritual thoughts bring clarity. Spiritual thoughts bring conviction, peace. But carnal thoughts, they always pull us towards pride. Because that's the enemy. That was his number one character. I mean, he wanted to be God. Carnal thoughts are always pulling you towards pride, pleasure, and rebellion. You're being pulled that way with your thoughts. But if you're having spiritual thoughts, you have clarity. You have clarity, and you're convicted, and you're repentant, and you have peace. Don't you want that? Joyce Meyer also said, we need to learn to think like God thinks, and the only way to do that is to know His Word. When your mind is on spiritual things, you're in the Word. Like when you're reading, your mind is on spiritual things. So it's not as hard as you think. Like just read the Word, meditate on it, and something supernatural happens. It's beautiful. You read it, you process it. Something's happening up here. You're heading towards life and peace, and you don't even realize it. So, I mentioned the heart and the eyes and the mouth and all that, or the mouth and the heart and the mind, but I want to talk about the eyes. The eyes. Because what influences a thought? What you see. A lot of times it's what you see. You see something, it can trigger a thought. Very powerful. At first, all the time, starts with your eyes. Starts with your eyes, because the eye is the lamp of the body, Matthew 6:22 says. The eye is the lamp of the body. And so what you see matters. It really matters. What about David when he looked at Bathsheba? Remember? He looked at her. All it took was him just looking, and sin followed. It started with a look. It started with his eyes. Jesus said, if your eye causes you to sin, pluck it out. So it starts with your eyes. And so it's serious. Like, that's not poetic. It's serious. When you see something with our eyes, it triggers a thought. And if we don't take that thought captive, then it infects our heart. It's connected. Everything you see is either feeding your flesh or feeding your spirit. Everything. Everything you see. So you have to choose what you look at. You have to. Anybody ever struggled with intrusive thoughts or something that just comes out of nowhere? You ever just... And it might even be triggered by something you see. Have you ever done that? Like you see it and you're like, oh my gosh, no. You ever done that before? Y'all making me think I'm crazy or something?
I deal with that severe.
Okay, so yeah, I have...
I don't even have to see nothing. I can just be sitting, like on the van yesterday, going to church, something just come in on I almost like, look, like dog food.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Good day.
Mm-hmm.
I do that a lot. I say it out loud.
You can hear one word? Really? So she's getting in onto the ears, which we're going to get to that too, but she said she can hear one word, and then it's... Yeah. Who else? Anybody else struggle with this? Yeah. Yeah. Does anybody want to give an example of a scenario of you struggling with this? Okay.
Not really anymore, but I remember I used to have a bunch of irrational thoughts about like my mom and my niece dying. Like it was just,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just severe and sudden.
Wow.
I struggle with that.
Okay. Yeah, because if we're honest, they're kind of ugly. You know, and that's why we don't talk about it, because we're embarrassed and we think, am I the only one thinking this? But if we were all to be honest right now, I think we'd probably have a little bit of relief knowing that, wow, I thought I was crazy.
A reoccurring one that I would never do that I don't think it's come up in my head in a long time, but I remember there was a phase of life where I would be driving, and if there was a ditch next to me, I would just think, I could turn the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Never had any impulses to do anything harmful to myself in my life, but for some reason, that one thing, I'm like, I could turn the wheel and just drive my car into that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be, where did that come from?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Because it makes no sense. I would never, and I have no desire to.
Wow.
Right? It's just that thought that, why?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the same sort of thing, like I would never attempt to hurt somebody,
Yeah.
but, you know, someone's walking and you just think, what if I just stuck my leg out tripping? Or something.
Right.
Again, I mean, where did that fly?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's real.
It's them falling and hurting some, you know, but,
Yeah.
so you don't have, that's where you choose not to act on those things.
Right,
But
yeah.
I am a little surprised sometimes at some of the things that pop up when something's being said.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Also, this is, I hate to use the word preventative, but for lack of a better word, like in there, I've been washing dishes like every day for a while.
Yeah.
And I saw it, and it was Palmolive dishwashing liquid. First time I've seen in a long time, because I steer from that. Because it smells like my mother. And when I think about my mother, and she was a wonderful mother, I only see her sick, that distressed look on her, the thinness, the wasted, that's what I see. So little things like that, but there wasn't anything else in there, so I didn't use it because I wouldn't. But I knew what was gonna happen. So I started thinking it before I ever used it.
Wow.
Even though it didn't smell like me, but I started thinking about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you just had to see it, which triggered the memory of the smell.
I knew what it was gonna smell like.
Right. See how powerful? It's a bottle of dish soap. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so these thoughts are, once you start to grow up spiritually, you're going to really start to, I just want to give you hope. Right now, there's a lot of things you're not spiritually strong in yet. Your muscles are weak. And so you think you're just not good at it, you don't know, you can't do it. But look, you keep walking this thing out, you're going to start seeing things clearer, like deeper. Hang on. Don't get, discouraged with that. I don't know, I felt like I needed to share that. But these thoughts that come in, I always say if it's something that is not relevant, it is a fiery dart. Like that was the spirit of death. Okay? The spirit of death was trying to get you, come at you and say, why don't you just, right? And so you recognize these spirits that are trying, that's their job. They do it all day, every day. They've done it for hundreds of millions of millennia. That's what they do. They're after you. And so, yeah, they're going to try anything they can try. So once you recognize it, you say, this thought's not me. So there's the shame gone. I'm not a crazy psychopath. This is the enemy. A lot of times we'll take it as in that was me. I'm disgusting. That was perverted. I must be twisted. I must not be changed. I haven't changed at all. That's what he wants. You're shaking and you don't even know it. He used the thought to just make you agree with a different thought.
Almost like if it gets that one little loop of rope around it, it starts tugging.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, you know what I mean, when you say that, cause I argue with someone, you know what I mean, in my mind sometimes like that.
Right.
That's what I'm saying, like what I was saying yesterday, like not today, you know what I mean, but it's almost like always drawn back to an argument. It's like you ain't gonna do it today, so.
Yeah.
That's what I feel when you say that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So you can take charge of your thoughts, and when they come, you recognize this is you. You dirty dog. That is not me. I see you. You back up. If it's something that's just, sadistic or harmful to your neighbor or twisted in any way, that's the stench of the enemy. Start to recognize, oh, wait a minute. I know exactly who this is. Does that kind of help you out? So you're taking it as it's you. It's not you. It's the enemy. So let's talk about your ears. Let's talk about your ears. Jesus said repeatedly, and he said, he who has ears, let him hear. He who has ears, let him hear. Why do you think he was repetitive about that? Why do you think it was repetitive? Well, I would say because there's so many things that's grabbing for our attention. There's so many voices grabbing for our attention. And your ears are like gates to your thoughts. Think of it like little gates right here. Little gates, closed, open. You like my visuals? But just keep that visual. Are these gates open or closed? Because you want to guard them because there's so many voices there. Thoughts are the front door to your heart. People are coming knocking, you let them in, they're just going to go right down and hang out.
Yeah.
And so when somebody says something hurtful, you hear it, think on it, don't you? And then soon your heart's wounded. That's the process. They say it, you hear it, you think about it, then you're wounded. Ouch. They say it, you hear it, you think about it, then you're wounded. And it's not because even of what they said. Listen, it's not because of what they said. It's what you believed. It's what you believed. It's what you believed. Because they can say it, but then it's your choice what to believe. It's what to believe. And a lot of times people will say something and your reaction is deep, deep hurt. Oh my gosh, I'm hurt. I'm falling apart. I can't do this. And it's not what they said. It's because it reinforced something that you believe. You already thought you were worthless. So when they did this small little thing, it just reinforced what you believe. That's why some people can say something and you're just kind of like rolling with it. You're like, you know what, I understand that's probably doesn't pertain to me, or because you don't believe that about yourself. And you roll on. But some thoughts just destroy you because they're just reinforcing something you already believe. Job's wife, remember, said, curse God and die. She said that to him. But Job did not accept it, did he? He tested the spirit behind it. If you ever heard that, test the spirits? It's 1 John. It says test the spirits, chapter 4. But we have to do the same. We have to test the spirits. We're not fighting against flesh and blood, okay? So that's why we're talking about spirits, because there's nothing else. Kingdom of heaven, kingdom of darkness, there's no light. Kingdom of dark, there's no in between. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with spirits. And don't just repeat what you hear. You have to test it. If it's not truth, toss it. Nope, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. See, the thing is, you can know something's not true, but you believe a little bit about it. You ever had that? And you're like, well, I know that's not true, but it just hurts me because you believe. You believe it. I don't know if there can be a difference between believing and knowing, but I feel like there might be a little bit of difference there. I know it's not true, but I believe it for me.
Well, knowing is fact, believing is just perception.
Okay, there you go.
I think facts are just facts until they're proven different facts. I'm just saying, because used to Pluto was a planet. That was a fact, now it's not. The fact was Earth was flat, now it's not.
Right.
The fact is that, you know what I mean?
I got her fired up. I love
I've always believed that. I stand real firm on facts until you change it tomorrow.
it. Right?
I mean, because the
Means
fact
the
can
word
always
fact was
be
being
redundant.
used inaccurately.
Right.
Oh, I love it. This is a great little rabbit trail. I like it. So when do you pay most like extra attention to your thoughts? Because there's moments in your life, in all of our lives, when your mind is really, really becoming a battlefield, like extra, okay? I just feel like there are certain times that we have to be more cautious about what we're thinking, more intentional. And like I said earlier, I know this is coming. I'm setting my mind ahead of time. And I really want to drill home of watch for these things. Recognize it before it gets here, because once it comes, it overtakes you. So you've got to be looking ahead. I see so many people, and it's just like they wait till it's too late. And then it's just, the battle's already done. I want you to plan ahead. Go ahead and engage now. And so the times that I want to talk about is whenever you're most vulnerable to rogue thoughts that aren't submitted to Christ, and they come from fear, a lot of them. The enemy whispers, or it comes from like pride, stuff like that. And so if you're not intentional, those thoughts are going to lead you into deception. They're going to lead you into rebellion, even like despair. Just, I can't do it, remember? Or even self-pity. Self-pity. And so I want you to watch your thoughts, especially when, number one, you've been corrected, disciplined, or rebuked. Just get ready to really watch those thoughts. This is you going ahead. Oh, I know I'm probably going to end up on discipline. I'm going to guard my thoughts. I'm going to guard my thoughts. I know that that's when they're going to take over. I'm going to guard them. I'm going to go ahead of it. So, like, when you're corrected or any of this, like disciplined or rebuked, that is a spiritual pressure point because you'll be tempted to think they don't love me. And this is the covering class. This is kind of how I'm tying it in. You're going to be tempted to think in that moment, they don't love me, or I'm being picked on, or even I'll never measure up. I can't do enough. I'll never be good enough. That's those thoughts that come in. And so the truth is, God disciplines those he loves. That's the truth. Discipline isn't rejection. It's redirection. It's love. It's really love in action. And so you ask, Lord, what are you teaching me through this? Isn't that a better way to think about it? Come into it saying, God disciplines those he loves. Lord, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want to teach me? What do I need to know?
I remember when I got demoted, that's my thoughts consumed me. And then it went from, I didn't want to blame myself, so I was like, they don't love me. They don't want to see me grow. They don't want to see me do good. And then it was like that was my launching pad of what really, like Miss Kim always says, that God puts us in a rubber band, he's pulling us back to launch us off. And it was like I went into this dark mode that I felt like nobody. I was like, none of these people like me. Yeah, because sociopath, like just the fleeting thoughts of all these things. And now when I look back on it, I'm like, they just wanted, I was like stunned in my growth. And they was just put miracle grow on me.
Wow. That's good. Thank you for sharing that.
It's good.
Wow. Anybody else have anything on that?
So what came to my mind was how I've heard a lot when people talk about correction, they say trouble, like I won't get in trouble. And I believe that deep down that's what they feel. They feel like they're going to get in trouble, and that's why their opinion on it is so harsh because they don't consider it, discipline being love and it being from God. So I think it's like our perception on it needs to change and to really believe that it is from God and not just something that's going to be like, experienced from your childhood.
Wow. I love that.
I think it goes back to protection when it comes to correction, anyway, because, the system, they reject you, they send you off and send you off and send you off. You get in trouble at home, they send you away from home. You get in trouble in the county jail, they send you away from the county jail to prison, and
Right.
it's just the pushing away. So I feel like when we get corrected here, we're scared that we're gonna get pushed away or rejection, but really it's an embracing
Yeah.
and walking beside us through it, which is the only place, you don't find that in the world.
Yeah.
You get corrected at your job, most of the time you just get fired.
Right. Yeah, I think that discipline desk's like 2 foot away from everybody else, so.
Something for
We still love you. You're right here with us. You just can't fellowship with anybody right now.
That was a big fear I had too, is that you all were pushing me away, and like that was like the most embraced I have ever felt. Like how when you get in trouble with your parents, they just look at you, make this face, and then you're like, I don't want to go out, I don't want to go near them, I know what's gonna happen. But it's like this mom was just like, hey, come here, are you okay? Like this is going on, and you're like, what do you mean? Are you about to put me in my room? And like that's because that's
Yeah.
what we got when we was a kid. Like either we got beat on or just pushed away. Like get out of my hair, you're getting on my nerves. Go.
Yeah.
And it's like y'all embrace it with love and just want to like, how can we help fix what's bothering you, or how can, or just in some way or fashion.
Yeah.
You do it with love, not with the rejection.
Yeah. That's good. That's awesome.
I thought of it, there's another way too, that you're still gonna put up a wall and you're gonna block that connection of, if you think, well, I don't need it anyway, I don't need it, and that's blocking your growth from that situation,
Wow.
blowing it off like it's no big deal, I think more of, out there, if someone were to have done, I don't need you anyway, I don't need whatever you have to give me. And
Yeah.
it could turn out to be a really good relationship if you'd have just, been open to whatever was that started.
Wow.
That's what came to my mind was just putting up that wall, blocking that connection of what it's trying to do for you.
Or disassociate yourself from the program while you're in it. Like, this doesn't apply to me. I'm just getting through. Like, you're not really receiving anything, not even correction. You're just kind of like, I'm not part of this. This is. So yeah, being careful up here what you're thinking. And second time that you need to watch your thoughts, especially, is when you've been let down, disappointed, or hurt. So we've talked about the correction and rebuke, but now let's talk about when you're let down.
Maybe that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, right. I didn't need you anyways, yeah.
I mean, to me, it all ties in together because I remember that day you put me on discipline, and it's like I just keep that whole conversation just keeps playing in my head. I was so mad at you and Miss Megan in that moment, and I remember you saying you loved me, but I walked out of your office. She don't love me. She
Right.
don't care, and like I started shutting down, and I was like, I'm never gonna amount to nothing. This is never gonna change. Like I'm just gonna sit over here at this desk and just wait my time out until I graduate. Like I shut down. I was like, I've already been hurt and disappointed, like I'm not gonna feel anything else. And I sat there, and then it was a couple weeks later, you gave me that book, The Devil's Door, and it was like, I started reading it, and it was like, it changed the perception of everything that I seen. I was like, and then in those moments, like I could see you walking by the hallway, and you'd be like, I love you. And like, I would feel it then, and I was receiving it, and it changed everything. But it took getting that book and taking those thoughts and pushing it out to see the truth that you did love me. You was there to help me
Right.
grow and to correct me in those moments that I needed it.
Yes. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
I went with him yesterday. Nothing will steal my joy.
Good.
And there was a reason that it all happened.
Yeah.
And I just still continue to have joy in my heart, even though everything happens for me. And I want to
That's good.
correct what I've done,
Yeah.
do better at what
That's
I've
good. I always remember you didn't come here because you were perfect.
done. No,
I think we act like that, and I know I talk about it all the time, but we get in here and then we get in trouble and we're shocked. I thought you needed I thought you were like running wild and needed help, You don't just enter the door and then you're perfect, like.
More shocked it ain't with handcuffs.
Like you're here because you need
Like
help.
what?
You need
I act
corrected.
like that? Yes, you act like that every
And
day.
any other time, if I hadn't had growth, I would have acted so crazy.
Right.
That's just sad. And then yesterday, let me tell you, forget something in the van. Then I left a chip. I left a chip bag in the van after all this happened. And I got, like I tried it for leaving something in the van. And then I ended up doing it again yesterday. I said, oh my gosh, I just sniggered myself. I said, are you gonna learn it?
Yes, ma'am. I remember you telling me, I think it was, my first emotion, you said, Michaela, you're not perfect. You didn't come in here perfect. You didn't come in here just without flaws, so it's not like there's nothing wrong with you.
Right.
And that keeps replaying over in my head as we're going through this class.
Yeah.
It's just
Right. It's like going to the hospital and when they come to treat you, you're like, don't do that. You're here to get worked on. What are you doing? It's like, don't touch me, but you're at the hospital. So.
I'm in here for heart surgery and you're amputating my foot.
I love it. So look, painful moments, what happens when you're hurt or let down, it's a painful moment. And what happens is it opens the door for dangerous thoughts because it speaks deeper. When you're hurt, when your feelings are hurt, it's just deeper than even probably correction, because it goes to the core of your feelings, like your identity, and you're really hurt, and here's some thoughts that might come in that moment. People always hurt me, or God must not care, or I'll never trust again. And those thoughts create inner wounds and like walls. Wounds and walls. Boom, boom. Get a wound, put up a wall. That's how you've always survived. That's how everybody. Well, I got hurt, I'm not going to do that again. Got hurt, not going to do that again. And so choose to process that pain from that letdown with truth instead, and you'll say, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. Isn't that scripture? Or Jesus understands betrayal. Jesus understands pain. He understands rejection. Lord, you know what I'm going through. So it's not you pretending like you're okay. It's not you dismissing the fact that you're hurt. You're saying the Lord's close to the brokenhearted. I'm brokenhearted. But He's close to those who are brokenhearted. I know He's near me right now. See the difference? You didn't change the circumstance. The fact that you are hurt, just change how you think about it, how you process it. And on that too, like, we can be easily hurt or let down by our leaders, specifically talking about our covering. Like if they don't look at you, or if they pass you by and they're not noticing you or saying something. And in those moments you have to remember, like, just speaking from me, you're in the house. You're loved. You have a bed here. You have a bunk here. You have a home here. You have access to, like, you are the family. Ring and robe, like you're here. Like fatted calf, right there in the kitchen, right? You're here. You're home. And so don't let the enemy, he'll hijack you. Remember, he's always trying to get in. Well, she didn't look at me. She didn't notice me. She didn't say anything to me. She just doesn't like me. That's what he does. I've been there. I'm sure every person in the room has felt that. It's just part of the human experience, honestly. But you have to remember you. What if you were in their position? What if you had 25 people and could you just, you right? And that's why you're led by the Spirit. You're led by the Spirit. But you have to put yourself in that person's shoes, and then you realize, it's not that they don't love me. It's probably because they're doing this or they're doing that. I know they love me. I'm here. I'm at the table. You're part of the family. So always remember that. Because we can get let down or hurt just by something as small as they didn't look at me. They didn't notice me. They didn't say anything to me. So, anybody have anything on that? Okay, another moment would be you feel overlooked, misunderstood, or rejected. Specifically misunderstood. Overlooked, misunderstood, or rejected. This is think of it like a breeding ground for offense, when you get offended. Because you might think, I don't belong here. Or no one sees my effort. Or they always choose someone else. Getting overlooked constantly, they choose someone else every time. Be careful, because this is a lot of times when Jezebel, when we talked about the spirit of Jezebel, the Jezebel spirit, we talked about how, when these thoughts come, that's when she's going to come in. And so self-pity, all of that, they start whispering lies. And so what you have to do is you replace that lie with identity-based truth. And you find that in the Word, like 1 Peter 2:9. I'm chosen by God. right? Chosen generation, royal priesthood. Like, just say a simple part of the scripture. Don't overcomplicate it. Scripture says, oh, you're a chosen generation, a royal priesthood. Just, I'm chosen. I'm chosen. I'm chosen. They may have overlooked me for that thing, but I'm chosen by God. How much greater that I'm chosen by God. You might not have been chosen for a position that you wanted, or chosen to be made EL, or chosen to make whatever. You're chosen by God, and that's more and greater than anything. So tell yourself, I'm chosen by God. God sees what is done in secret. When you feel like you've been, somebody else is being promoted and you know that they're not worthy for it. You've seen that they're rotten, or they're, how some people get by on leadership don't see it and they fool them. We see that sometimes. What if she gets a promotion and you don't? You're walking the truth over here. What do you say? Well, God sees everything done in secret. That's Matthew 6:6. He sees it all. He sees everything that's done in secret. And the fourth time that you need to watch out for these thoughts is when you're isolated or alone. This is on your days off if you're in EL, okay? Or if you're in study hall all day. Anytime you're isolated or alone at a door by yourself on a 2-door, you're just at that door all day long by yourself, it feels like. Watch out. Get ready. Go ahead of it. Say, I know I'm at a door by myself today. I'm putting my guard on. I'm setting my thermostat. I'm not going there. I will not think about this. I will not think about this. And better yet, I'm going to have my Bible in my hand the whole time. That's you going ahead. Don't wait till you're in the moment. Go ahead and plan. Because the devil loves a good, quiet room with an unguarded mind. Like on your day off, be careful. Come fellowship. If you live up there, get down here. Don't just stay up there for hours at a time on your day off. Come and fellowship. He loves a good, quiet room because your mind is either your best friend or your enemy. And most of the time, all of us could say, it's not good for me to be alone with my thoughts. Right? It's just not a good place. And so in that moment, preach to yourself. Just preach to yourself. Don't just listen to your thoughts. Actually speak truth to your thoughts. I don't agree with what you're saying because the Word says this. The Word says this. If you feel like they're just too strong, you can't battle them, you're like, I can't do this, they're just overtaking me, there's a deeper problem. Okay? That's a spiritual stronghold. You need prayer. You need to get a deliverance packet. We need to pray over you and break this stuff off. When your thoughts control you and consume you, that is the evidence of demonic influence. Meaning you've let them in a big way and they've just overtaken you. Okay? And we can set you free from that, right? Because Jesus died so that we could do that. Isn't that amazing? Like He said for us to go cast out demons. For us to. So we can set you free. Because He lives in us. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that beautiful? And so how do you process those negative thoughts? Because when they come, if it's not a stronghold, something that you really just can't overcome, which I would say most of them are not a stronghold. When they come, ask, don't accuse. Instead of say, why is this happening to me? Don't say that. That's self-pity. It leads to self-pity. Say, Lord, what are you trying to teach me? Instead of, why is this happening? Lord, what? Instead of why, say what. Say what, not why. What are you trying to teach me? Because why insults Him. It insults His sovereignty. You're saying, why did you do it like this? Instead of, what do I need to know about it? Isn't that cool? So, what, not why. Second thing is feel it, but don't feed it. Feel it, but don't feed it. This is how you process negative circumstances that come, like demotion or all those things. You're what are you trying to teach me, Lord? And feel it, but don't feed it. Pain is real, but don't let it be your reality. Okay? Be angry and do not sin. Pour out your heart to Him. He's your refuge. Guard your inner dialogue. What you say to yourself in hard moments matters more than what actually happened to you. Choose thoughts that lead you to growth. Don't make inward vows in pain. I do this a lot. I'll never trust again. Ever. I'm never opening up again.
What did you say?
Inward vow. Yep. I'm not going to do it anymore. Pretty sure you went through that one time, Miss Taylor. Yep, I remember that. But we do that. How many of you do that? I'm never doing this again. Maybe.
I done it when Tina left.
Okay.
I said, I'm never going to make a friend again. That's it. I'm not. I did. But, I mean, it went away, obviously.
Yeah.
Look, I have friends. You know what I mean? I do.
Said, look, I have friends.
Or if it doesn't actually work.
I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, really, because, I mean, she was the first person I'd looked close in a long time, you know, like really, really close. So I was like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It reminded me of that when you were talking the let down thing too.
Right.
You get let down by somebody because of that.
Yeah. That mentality is not going to get you anywhere. It's not realistic. I mean, if I or me or Miss Megan had that mentality, we'd have left on the first month. I'm never doing this again. I'm out.
And how many years later you've seen and heard it all.
Yeah.
Except for, look.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you're not going to get anywhere with that mentality. Just think, that's not a healthy mentality. I'm not going to live in that. I'm not making inward vows because of pain. Because that's where it comes from. You're making that vow when pain comes. Don't trust it. Pain make you do crazy stuff. You can't trust it. Let Him write your story with faith, not fear. Okay, so that kind of goes with that inward vow. And the fifth thing I want you to do is surround yourself with truth speakers. Surround yourself with truth speakers. Sometimes you need somebody to interrupt your toxic thought with God's perspective. Just go in and lay it down and let them speak truth to you. That's not true. Let me tell you why. Just come and say, this is where I'm at. I'm being beat up. You know how many people will come in my office and tell me something that they were thinking and I had no earth. I'm like, what? Then somebody came to me and said, you moved me up to Mary House and I thought it's because you didn't want me around anymore. And it just showed me, I'm thinking, bless her heart. Like, I was just, it showed me the reality of what's going on up here. That simply you moving to Mary House, you think, you must not like me. And ladies, that's the power of a thought. That's what happens when you get alone with your thoughts. You think things that are not rational at all. And what I told her, she came to a truth speaker, because I came to her and I said, we move you up there because we trust you. What? And do you see how the enemy has taken something that you should have been encouraged by, and he caused you to be discouraged? Be careful what you're thinking, because what you're thinking most of the time is not even near what's the truth. Not even near the truth. So get in, find a truth speaker, tell them what you're thinking, and they can either validate it or not. Right? I mean, I'll tell you an opposite scenario. Somebody came to me and said, I feel like in class you're talking about me. I feel like the whole class is about me. I said, well, actually,
It kind of was.
you're pinging on all of it, sis. Like every bit of it. That's what I told her. I said, it's not for you. It's for everybody because everybody deals with it. But you're pinging on every bit of it. every bit of it you're in. So I did speak truth to her. I did tell her, this is what you're thinking is correct. I am talking about you a lot. But it's because you fit in everything we're talking about, right? So it's not that I'm just going to say, that's not true, sis. I'm going to tell you the truth. And it's going to help you up here. You're either going to be like, whoa, I need to work on this. Or, wow, the enemy has taken me for a ride. I've been like, all over here, over nothing. So come to a truth speaker. Surround yourself with a truth speaker. Proverbs 4:23, be careful what you think, because your thoughts run your life. I think it was Miss Taylor who had sent a quote on our chat by Elizabeth Elliot, and it said, the secret is Christ in me, not me in a different set of circumstances. Now, everything I've just talked to you about is a circumstance that caused a thought. Rejection caused a thought. Demotion caused a thought. Being hurt caused a thought. Being alone caused those circumstances. But this quote here is beautiful because it says, the secret to all of this is Christ in you, not you in another situation. You can't always control what happens to you. You just can't. Things are going to happen to you that are out of your control. That's what life brings us. Pain, sometimes tragedy, loss. You cannot do anything about when a loved one dies. You can't control that. It's going to just happen to you. You can't just put yourself in another. That's using mentality. That's how you end up getting high. You want to escape it, so you go get high. So it's important you recognize the reality is you can't always control what comes. But the cool thing is, when you control your thoughts, you can actually shape your future. You can. It's been the whole gist of the whole situation that we're talking about. So the domino effect as we close is you see it, you hear it, you think it, you feel it, you speak it, you live it. See it, hear it, think it, feel it, speak it, live it. That's that cycle. See it, hear it, think it, feel it, speak it, live it. You don't just fall into sin, you think your way there. You think your way there. Feel it, speak it, and live it. Speak it and live it. So you see it or hear it first, and then you think about it. And then as you think about it, you start feeling it. And then you start speaking it. Out of the abundance of the mouth, the heart speaks. You're speaking it out. That's why words really matter. What comes out of your mouth says a lot about what's in here. And then you start living it. Jesus said in Matthew 15, those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile the man. Meaning when you start speaking it, it defiles you. It affects you. It affects your life. So what's coming out of your mouth? Are you releasing blessing or are you releasing curse? Are you faith or fear? Are you doing like gossip or healing and uplifting? Think about a precious newborn baby. Think about that as your mind. What do? You protect it. You have to protect it. You need to start viewing your mind as fragile, as very soft, very needing to, it's like a baby, a very precious little baby. You better protect that thing. Guard the gates. Guard it. That includes your conversations, ladies. You have my permission to walk away from a negative conversation. Like, it's okay to do that. If it causes strife, we'll handle it. We'll sort it out. It's fine. At the end of the day, you know what the truth's going to come out? The truth's going to come out that you didn't feel comfortable because of this negative thing that was said. I'm not going to listen to that. I don't agree with what you're saying. Remember what we've been teaching. That's dishonoring our leaders. I don't agree with that. I'm not going to listen to it. Or so forth. Guarding your heart also means how you entertain yourself. When you're free time, how are you entertaining yourself? Are you entertaining yourself by juicy gossip or, writing your family or calling them constantly? Talk to them. Is that your entertainment? Are they becoming an idol? I just want you to be ruthless about what's coming to your mind. Can we just try that? Like, just be ruthless about what's coming up here. Nope. You're not getting in. 2 more quotes from that book by Joyce Meyer. It's really good, but she said, you cannot have a positive life and a negative mind. Your life can't be positive if your mind is negative. And so remember, ladies, we don't just need our behavior modified, we need it transformed. And so we have to reject those lies and replace them with the truth. That's how we renew our minds, like the scripture says. That paper I gave you is really going to help you, because I just want you to look at what thoughts you've been entertaining. We're going to end by actually doing this paper. Just do it on a separate piece of paper. And I want you to recognize what thoughts you've been entertaining and find out if they're aligned with the Word or if they're aligned more with fear. So why don't you just take a moment and do this thought replacement drill. Okay, does anybody want to share? Okay.
What came in my mind is I can't do it. It's too much. Like, I'm too one track. I'm not a multitasker. It's too much. And Miss Carol yesterday came to the kitchen, and God laid it on her heart to come talk to me to tell me why I got put back in the kitchen, which I wasn't ever thinking of it as a negative thing. I know, I've been there, and I've discovered that God can use me everywhere and anywhere I get put. But it was a lot with learning, leading outreach and on duty and just everything all at once. I was a little overwhelmed. Trying not to let it get to me, trying to use my coping skills and making it a positive. But she said that she thought that God put me back in there because He wanted to talk to me. He wanted me to be more alone, that I don't too many distractions and being. She didn't specifically say the thrift, but she just felt like maybe my word fast wasn't long. That's the feeling I got. My word fast wasn't long enough. He didn't get enough time with me, alone at a desk or something. So that was her feelings. But what she said was that He will equip me for every situation that He puts me in. What is happening? There's nothing happening that He's not going to equip me to handle. So then, what else came to mind? Is that He won't give you more. He won't give you more than you can bear, more than you can handle, and He will get you through it. And of course, Philippians 4:13, that has to come to mind because no matter what you do, you've got Christ. He's in you, and He's going to get you through it. He's right there with you. So
that's awesome.
But it helps hearing her say that.
Yes.
And you do need to hear it, even when you know it, even when you're trying to live it. It's nice to hear it. And
it is.
To me about all of this and all of you, and you're so supportive. I need to be aware to be like that for other people too. I'm trying that.
Wow, thank you for sharing.
It's funny she says that, because I've been struggling with the same thing. Like it's like a war in my head. Like one voice will be like, "You're not good enough. You can't handle this," and then a part of me's like, He trusted me in this. Like He put me in this position because He trusts that I can handle it. And I feel like I'm kind of disrespecting the Lord because He has trusted me with this position.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, the Lord gets away from worrying. You worry because you want, I want to make it work. I want to do it well. And I don't want to let God down by not, but you're letting Him down by worrying that you can't do it because He's got you.
Right.
So this is definitely a very common thing because I also have felt that. And I actually have it written down in the same format as it. So 1, awareness, negative thought. That I am not cut out for my job. They made a mistake to give me my department. Truth. Truth check. Is it true? No. I am just insecure because I am listening to past traumas and experiences of being told I could not do things. Replace it. Choose a new thought. God will not give me more than I can handle. He has put me where I am for a reason. I can do it, and I will do it. Speak it. Say the new thought 3 times. I can do it, and I am grateful that I get to.
Wow.
And I gotta say, it felt really good
I
today.
feel the Holy Spirit.
It feels uncomfortable at the beginning when I'm writing it down because I'm trying not to live in that. And so even just putting it on the paper, I'm like, ooh, that feels gross. But then by the time I got to the end of it, it felt freeing because I was putting down that first sentence so far in the past by the time I get to the 4th step.
Wow.
It made me feel good that I wasn't the only one struggling with this. And I'm really glad that you had this class because yesterday I just felt so uneasy and so heavy. And I was actually going to come talk to you about it today, but...
Wow. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, I'll be going through it tomorrow.
Let me ask you this. Why do you think the enemy's telling you that you can't do it? What would be his motive?
Because he doesn't want us to.
The second that he sees you step closer to your calling, the second that he sees you step into that, like the giving God your yes. As soon as you say yes, or as soon as you say, okay, I got this, that's when.
Well, look, think about a basketball game, okay? When they're making that free throw shot, what are all the cheerleaders do? Right? They're trying to distract the shooter. They're like, ah! miss it, don't do it, you can't, don't, they're like, they're screaming to try to distract, because what do they ultimately not want?
They don't want the goal made.
They don't want the goal made, and they know right now in this moment,
So is that,
if they hit this, if they make this point,
that's it.
so what I discern is, the enemy gets louder the closer you are. Once he realizes, if she gets this,
Yep.
it is very unlikely I'm going to get her back.
Keep screaming at my
So it's not just that he don't want you to succeed. Like, sure, that's part of it, but no, it's deeper. He knows what will happen if you
If you
do
step
it.
in.
And lean not on your own understanding. That verse keeps coming to my mind, because if we start again believe that door starts opening more and more and more.
Right.
And you've got more thoughts captive.
Wow.
Pulls the back, pulls away. But he can't win. He's not the-
That's right. Go ahead.
I like to think whenever we're on outreaching, he tries to really set like fear inside of me, especially when asking people or go inside of stores or when I'm door to door. I love door to door, but it makes my nerves go like, it just makes me so nervous to go inside the store. But I like to think that he's doing this because he knows that a seed's going to be planted. He knows that something's going to happen that he doesn't want to happen, and that's why he put it in me, because he doesn't want me to do it to my full potential.
Uh-huh.
So
Oh,
I
that's
like to
good. Think that.
when I'm outreaching.
Yeah. And also realize that resistance is needed to grow you. You have to have resistance that's necessary to growth. Anything has to have resistance. When you work out, what are you doing? It's resistance, and that's what makes you strong. And so when you have a weak point, like, door to door, you realize I need this resistance, because it's going to make you bold. Don't get me started. I love door to door. I love it.
Don't get me started.
I reel it in. Oh my gosh. Shoo, I like it a lot. It's so fun. But anybody else want to share?
I've actually been practicing this.
Okay.
This week, and with combating it with scripture, because I had prayer like after work. I felt the Lord was like leading me to like having spiritual surgery, or just at top of just silence and just sitting alone and just letting Him operate, even though I didn't feel like, sometimes when we're sitting in prayer or things like that and you don't feel like anything's happening, there's a lot that can be happening inside of us that He's just like stitching up and stuff. And the thoughts that came to my mind was that the intrusive thoughts that I'm not good enough, or I'm not good as, or I shouldn't be doing this because I'm not effective, or I'm not smart, or I'm not as this, and comparison, jealousy, things like that. And so the verse that I've been just quoting over myself when those things come in my head is, He withholds no good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I just keep on repeating that to myself, that, the Lord is a sun and a shield, and He bestows favor and honor, and He withholds no good things those who walk uprightly. So throughout the day, if those things come in my head, I just start saying, He withholds no good thing. He's not holding out on me. That's what I was feeling like. Like, God, deep down, are you like, that's just a sin in the garden. You're holding out. What are you holding out on me for? But He withholds no good thing, and I just have to keep reiterating that to myself.
Yeah, that's so good. And so I think the enemy works in opposites. Like what you're really, like, people see, the opposite is what you believe. Like if we were to observe Miss Taylor, we would never think that she felt that way. Would we? We would probably say the opposite. And so her strength is evident to us, but He's blinded her to it to the point where she believes the opposite. So maybe think like that sometimes. Like, what if He's flipping the script and I'm really good at door to door? What if I'm really effective? What if I'm really, really effective and He is trying to make me believe the opposite? What if the opposite is true about every attack, everything you hear? What if the opposite's really true?
Truth is, you are good at door to door. You are.
And I thought you were a multitasker. I mean,
Make it real good. She'll see inside of me.
So what if you're just believing the opposite? So as I know we've went a little further. I know you got to probably use the restroom, but I want to do some closing declarations. Remember this? Use these when you're struggling. There's some in the war room. I just went and checked. We might need to make more copies, but use these when your mind's out of control. Are y'all ready to declare some things?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I want you to make sure you mean it when you say it too. You're not just repeating. Okay. I take every thought captive to the obedience of Christ.
I take every thought captive to the obedience of Christ.
I have the mind of Christ.
I have the mind of Christ.
I will not be conformed. I will be transformed.
I will not be conformed. I will be transformed.
I fix my thoughts on what is true, noble, and pure.
I fix my thoughts on what is true, noble, and pure.
The enemy will not have my mind.
The enemy will not have my mind.
Say it again.
The enemy will not have my mind.
Jesus will.
Jesus will.
Good. Write this down. Philippians 4:8. Read it daily for the next week. Can everybody commit to that? Read it daily for the next week, and I want you to journal the top 3. I know we did one thought today, but journal the top 3 thoughts that you've struggled with this week.